Hello, beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Severance reaction. And for our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up, this episode is also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show.
And you can watch it uncut with us if you become a member, either here on YouTube or on Patreon. Both are $5 a month. You have to have your own copy of the episode. We give you a countdown, time code. You can watch the full thing, unedited, uncut, ad-free.
And y'all, please don't forget to give a big like on this video and also share it as well. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified from when we have a new upload. Thank you so much for your comments and your likes and everything interacting with our previous episodes and also our Severance reactions as well throughout the season. We appreciate it so much. Abe and Charlie, how you guys doing after that insane episode?
Oh my God, I feel like I've lived a lifetime since then. Yeah, man. Still thinking about it. I just don't know how you follow that up. I mean, they've already prepped us for the fact that this is going to be a shorter one, but I don't know what that means.
Do you like that it's a shorter episode following?
I think they're really smart. I think that they're giving you they're like, oh, you want more? We'll tease you a little bit right until the final two episodes, which I'm sure are going to be massive.
Insane.
Yeah, just based on what we saw from season 1 and the final couple episodes. Just gets bigger and bigger, obviously, so we'll see what happens.
Before we get into the comments, Charlie, how are you feeling heading into this episode?
I don't know if you guys saw the preview photo or whatever, the little thumbnail photo. I think it's the same place as the retreat, or at least it looks like it because it's snowy outside and whatnot.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know if we're going back or maybe it's just the outside in general because it's always snowy and cold.
They didn't learn the retreat was a bad idea the first time. I would love to know why they went back if that's the case.
The thing is, now we can kind of assume that retreat place was within Lumen, which we thought before as well, right? But after seeing last episode where Gemma was going into all the different rooms, it's most likely a simulation.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a location within one of the doors in Lumen, most likely. Maybe it's Cold Harbor.
Ooh.
And we just didn't know.
Who knows, man? At this point, who knows?
I don't know.
I don't. I'll tell you that. I definitely don't.
Before we get into this episode, Abe, can you please read the comments from our previous Severance reaction?
This first one comes from Bob McBurger1, and it says, a thing to note is when Mark wakes up, he's basked in warm sunlight, something we haven't seen during the entire series with any Audi. Their lives are shown to be dark and gloomy, but for once, there's warmth. This means he's now reintegrated, as Mark is no longer in the dark. Yeah,
really good.
I like that interpretation. I also think seeing the memories of Gemma and whatnot, that light kind of shining on him, and I guess the metaphor, I think this person mentions seeing the light or seeing the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some symbolism there, so. Yeah, really good call out. This next one comes from Maniakura, and it says, love reactors with emotional intelligence. Great stuff, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we tend to try to react to the psychological, character-based elements of the show. I think those are the things that the three of us really appreciate, especially when we're acting together. We talk about that stuff a lot, and that last episode, man, it just hit home for sure. Yeah. And the last one comes from J Fells 4838, and it says, the parallel of the nurse at the beginning asking Gemma, where'd you go? As it shows Mark's eyes, and then at the end of the episode, Devin asks Mark, where'd you go? And he's thinking about Gemma, and it ends with her eyes. This episode was absolutely soul-crushing. Yeah, man, the direction was crazy. Jessica Lee.
Oh,
I think everybody's been giving her praise as far as I've seen on my Twitter timeline and all that stuff. So very well deserved, and people are still catching stuff. Little callbacks within that episode. That was really, really well done. So
Apple TV just put a screenshot of the credits, directed by Jessica Lee Gani, I think I say her last name.
I think so.
And it got last time I checked, had 50K likes. I'm pretty sure it has a lot more now.
Good for her. It's good that Apple is pushing that kind of stuff and that recognition. It's really important.
Yeah, it is. With that being said, y'all, Charlie, episode 8.
Sweet Vitriol. Cold Harbor, maybe? It's a harbor. It's cold.
I don't think this is a harbor. It's like a gulf.
We're gonna get to the harbor. That's COBEL.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's her car.
Beautiful location.
Yeah. This woman has been driving for months.
Certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
Salt's Neck.
She looks like she's not sleeping. Thank you for shooting on location. I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that.
There's the harbor.
Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be, literally.
All her.
Oh, yeah.
The title card means it's going to be wild. Hopefully. Bag's not even inflating.
Looks like there's a hole in it. Yeah, littering. Oh my god, so she ended up calling her.
No way. So maybe she was there and we didn't get to see after Mark woke up. I don't know.
It looks like we're picking up right where we left off in the last episode, just in a different location.
We don't know.
I think we do. Where else? When else would Devin call her?
She would have called her before Mark woke up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, but sure. But that was very shortly after that he woke up.
Hey, Rose. You want a refill?
You can top me off anytime.
All right, Rose, chill out. Drippy Pot Cafe, literally a shoebox.
Wonder where they filmed this. Like, it's giving, like...
Alaska.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I was going to say very, very high up, like Vermont, Maine, something. I don't know, but
maybe.
But Alaska makes more sense, I think.
She must be from this place, right? Like, that's probably the context here.
Harmony, COBEL. Well, flip my toboggan.
Oh.
You want coffee?
That's not a warm reception.
Tables are for paying customers.
Fine, then buy me a coffee. The town is older than I remembered. Frailer.
Yeah, well, with the market readjustment from a few years ago and the fluctuating interest rates, there was a retrenchment from some of the core infrastructure investments.
Okay.
And ain't no new blood. Nobody's moving in there.
I need a favor. Not here. Meet me at the factory.
What the hell is she plotting, bro?
Yeah.
I can't tell if this is good or bad. Like, clearly these are...
uneasy feeling.
Yeah, clearly these are not Lumen people, right?
Right.
We would have to assume that, but still.
I mean, I would assume they might be very anti-Lumen people.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they hate her.
I'm just guessing because it's like middle of nowhere, small town, America, whatever.
I don't think this is Alaska. I think it's not enough ice. You're probably right.
I don't know. I just...
It feels like a Manchester by the Sea type of town.
Manchester by the Sea is a lot more bougie.
It's true. I just mean like small village, like towards the water.
I know some...
Did that say Lumen or was I bugging?
I don't know.
That's the Lumen. See, look.
The
You
logo,
see the
yeah.
logo.
The logo.
The glogo.
The globe.
This could be a very old Lumen location.
Hands up. Maybe it is Lumen people.
They got, like,
Yeah, it is Lumen.
Yeah. They got
Lumen
destroyed.
Industry. It's abandoned. They probably
But,
grew, expanded.
Yeah, and left this town for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe what he was referencing in the past was like Lumen doing the town dirty. Now kiss.
You know how it is to ask me to come here.
I need you to drive me to Sissy's.
Oh, siblings.
No thanks.
If they're watching the house, they'll recognize my car.
How much trouble are you in?
Enough.
She's way too smart, dude, because she doesn't even know for a fact that she's in trouble. But she, based on that interaction she had with Helena and Drummond, she feels like she's in danger.
You can stay in the truck. I need to get something.
Why would I help you with anything?
We were once chums. Old colleagues lifted each other up.
Colleagues. Child of fucking labor.
Ooh. Oh. Like Miss Wong?
Kier and Imogen met at the ether mill. You know that?
Was she hacking up a lung at the time?
I can smell it on your breath. Pathetic.
You.
You can help me or not, but I'll not be the punching dummy for your resentments.
I don't quite get their relationship yet, but
I think it's intentional.
But she said colleagues, so I'm assuming that they worked together.
Yeah, but they were probably more than that, just based on his reaction to that word.
Well, the thing is, he said child labor, so my guess is they both worked for Lumen as children or were forced to work. And she obviously like drank the Kool-Aid. Oh my God, is that the house they're going to? It's just
Yeah, Jesus.
stranded house by itself, right by the water, on a rock.
What a strange build of a house.
Coast is clear.
She's so paranoid.
She's cautious.
But like, this is the middle of nowhere. It's the only house there.
She knows how Lumen operates, though. Like, if they're looking for her, and maybe they suspect, where would she go?
Sure.
You are not welcome here.
Uh-oh.
What?
This is trespass.
Oh.
I have a mind to call the authorities.
Oh, wow. It's her old room?
I do not want that huff peddler on my property.
You gave him his thirst for it.
You got liar's mouth. Do you want to come down here and tell me what this is all about?
Celestine Sissy COBEL, quarterly striver.
What have you done with my things?
Sold to the poor.
They weren't yours to sell.
You sold it to the poor?
Yeah, literally.
Has anyone been here?
No one comes here. A Mr. Drummond.
And what did he want?
What have you done, little mouse?
Can't tell if that's her mom or sister.
I want the key to Mother's room.
Okay.
That room stays shut until all who remember her sit with Kier. You know this.
Give me the key.
Why do you bring nothing but woe into my life?
What were her last words?
Do not test me.
What were they? You said nothing after you pulled the tube from her gullet.
Ooh. There was gratitude in her eyes to be freed from her suffering. If only she had been a believer, perhaps she would have found solace in the 9.
I feel like they're speaking in riddles the entire episode. Like,
reminds me of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's like lingo that you just end up picking up on as you go.
Yeah. Surprised nobody complained about COBEL using too many big words in her performance review.
I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Your studies were more important. Mr. Egan saw Kier in you.
Oh my gosh.
I think her family drank the Kool-Aid before she even knew what was what.
No apprentice was more industrious than you. Such a disappointment you've proven to be.
Jeez.
What did Drummond tell you?
Return and plead forgiveness, child. The Egans were granted.
Bro.
And show me mercy, just like you did with Mother. Where's the key?
Is that like a Kier rock?
All you will find in there is pain. Where is it?
What the heck?
Those look like tarot cards, but they had the different consciousnesses on them, I think.
I found it!
Okay. You had to declare it?
Did she leave their mother in there? Like, why is it locked?
Old hospital bed and all that. I can't tell if there's something she's like physically looking for or just like she felt the need to do this for some like emotional reason. Oh, that stuff was her mom's.
Oh, I see.
Got it. Oh, it sounds like Sissy was right. All she found was pain.
From what I'm understanding, she was away.
Yeah, while her mom died, yeah.
Yeah, maybe she feels regret, probably.
Water looks crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost like whale sounds.
The lighting in this scene specifically is so good.
I'd be afraid to live there. That's hella creepy.
Big time. Terrified.
Oh.
It's her man's?
What is it? What happened?
Nothing. Came to get you. She's not too happy about it.
I have to find it.
Find what?
Give me a minute just to think.
I liked her.
You barely knew her.
She hated Lumen more than I did, so I needed to know. At least she doesn't have to live with Sis anymore.
Oh, this is her man's, bro. I see that look on you, COBEL.
You want to get high?
Oh my god.
I was not expecting that line.
Whoa.
What the hell? What are you doing? Chloroform or what? What the hell are they doing?
I want to know what that is.
Yeah.
And why do I get the eerie feeling that whatever, since like, I feel like this is something that Lumen got them on, right?
You ready to man the vat for 10 hours?
Yikes.
She said that she did that at 8 years old.
Yeah, he said, you ready to man the vat for 10 hours, like working?
It's shameful that you sell it.
This is heartbreaking to see. Like,
I don't think it's here.
You don't know what she's looking for?
What you're looking for.
Who else could be?
She wouldn't throw it away.
I thought someone else was coming.
She's probably yelling at them.
What the hell? Y'all got hobbits living with you too?
stash of the drugs that they were just taking?
Looks like a pantry almost.
Maybe she had some really old documentation or manual or something from when she used to work there.
Bro, the lore is so crazy. Like, there's just so much that we don't know.
Yeah.
It goes way deeper than what we expected. What the hell is that? James Egan. Intertide Fellowship. Interesting.
What are you looking for? Oh? She found it.
Get your truck ready and watch my head.
She going back in?
That's kind of not smart.
I'm going. Don't tell them I was here.
I would never bear falsity to a steward of the Edens.
Lumen destroyed this town.
Oh, now you're flipping
You
the
owe
script?
them no loyalty.
And what about you?
There was no town before the factory. And what about your own employ? Everything that you have, you owe back to the Egans as fealty.
What is this, indentured servitude?
Mine! My designs!
She's gonna throw in the fire, bro.
Base code! Overtime contingency!
Whoa.
Glasgow block, all of it!
Oh.
She invented Severance?
What? That's a plot twist and a half. What?
Whoa, wait.
What?
Better grab it from her.
Before she like throws it in the.
I was told Kier's knowledge is for all.
That is true.
That if I sought credit, I would be banished.
No wonder she has such a vested interest in how the Severance like stuff works.
Grab it.
Throw it in the fire, yeah.
Yep. Do it.
Tackle her.
Oh, she got it back. Whew.
I hope you die as painfully as she did.
Ooh.
Damn.
It was her hand that removed the tube, not mine.
No!
Your mother was a coward, more sick in the soul than in the body.
I'm starting to think this is like her aunt or something.
I don't believe you!
I thought you were different. My flower. I tried to help you grow, but now I see you are a weed, just as she was.
Hey! Someone's coming!
Oh.
Uh-oh. She called them.
Run away! Run away!
Ay, ay, ay.
Why am I out here rooting for COBEL?
I mean, it's obvious that she is against Lumen now.
Why is he staying behind?
I don't know. It's a helicopter approaching. They're gonna catch him with the. Oh no, it's a car. They're gonna catch him with the head thing.
Oh my gosh, she called her 3 times.
Listen, so, thank I've been trying to reach you. So listen, Mark has been reintegrating?
We're a copy.
Yeah.
And she hasn't killed him yet.
No, I mean, I think he's okay. But listen, we want to try something else.
Is Mark with you?
Oh, yes.
Put him on.
Hello?
Tell me everything.
Uh-oh. Not uh-oh.
Yeah, good setup.
Yeah.
Good setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stiller.
I figured it was a Ben Stiller episode.
We got a big reveal. COBEL is the person who created Severance.
Supposedly.
Of what she had the renderings of
All the designs.
the designs. So does that mean was it her? But it looks like it is her, and that reveals a lot. And I found this episode really good, specifically the commentary on corporations taking over towns and building factories and then absolutely diminishing the town and then packing up. I think we see that a lot in American society with like a lot of corporations going into towns and just building these massive factories where everyone works at. And then there's a ton of labor issues. You have problems with the air pollution. I know there's, I don't know what, I saw a story about a town where the air is like so bad that people had to move out. So I think it really highlights that as well in this episode. I think we saw that Lumen is just out here just doing crazy things.
Yeah.
But wow. We learned a little bit more about COBEL, and Abe, I'm just wondering, what are you seeing here? She was a loyalist. She was someone who has worked with Lumen ever since she was 8 years old and has been part of this company forever with everyone who worked in this town. And it just seems like they have been absolutely destroyed by Lumen. And there's still her aunt, sister, whoever that is, who is a Lumen loyalist. I'm just wondering, what did you get off from this episode? How are you feeling?
Yeah, so I mean, I used to see her as a Lumen loyalist. Now I see her as somebody who was a child and was brainwashed, very clearly, right? Like, we get a little bit of backstory of her and Hampton, I think was the guy's name.
I think so.
On what I think she called him Hampton, and saying, they were getting high or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, I haven't done that since I was 8," and it's like, damn, you've been, getting high since you were 8 and working on the working at the factory or whatnot. And I just think that there is a lot here that we did not know about her. And I'm starting to think, I'm starting to have different perspectives on her. Like, this entire time, was she serving Lumen, or was she in Kier, or was she kind of serving herself and her own ideas, right? Because at the end of the day, we saw her so committed to the severed floor, so committed to the work that's going on. And was that because she believes into the greater mission of Lumen, or because like she created this revolutionary technology and she wants to see it through? So that's my one thought. The other thought that I have is like, from her perspective, it feels like she thinks Ragabi is like this loose cannon who doesn't know shit about her designs. And like, season 1, she was like, reintegration is not possible or whatever. And then they go searching for it. Although I do think that she was one of the people that like had some doubts, saying like, reintegration is possible. And I think that they can prove it. But it didn't seem like she was, actively looking into that. So I'm really curious now about the backstory between her and Ragabi, and before managing the severed floor, like what was her job like, right? Like there's so much backstory now that we can get from being 8 years old all the way to, present day. So, it's one of those things where the villain, she has been the villain, or one of the villains, I guess, in this show. And they've slowly revealed to you some like humanizing factors from her, right? Like you get the sense that she had lost somebody in earlier seasons, that she was really bought into this whole Lumen thing, and maybe potentially a little bit unstable after she got fired and everything. She had that huge breakdown in her house and like started ripping stuff off the walls. So like there was a little bit of like, what is going on with this woman? And now, with the little bit of backstory that we get here, you start to empathize a little bit and also see that maybe she is not the enemy, and that there is a greater enemy here at stake.
Lumen.
Yeah, exactly. And like James Egan, he be stealing, bro.
Yeah.
He just stole her damn designs and everything, didn't give credit. What did she say about giving? I would, if I took credit, I'd be banished. I'm like, bro, that's like classic manipulation. I think they said something else where it was like something about Kier's ideas is like, we don't take credit for it. Essentially, was what she said, and it just goes to show, like, I think what we can gather from this story is this town had nothing. Lumen brought something, jobs, livelihood for people, but that came at a cost, child labor, et cetera, and completely brainwashing people into believing what their mission was without knowing maybe the ulterior motives for what Lumen was doing.
Yeah. I'm shook. I mean, it is an episode that sets up what's coming up next, right? Finally, it's kind of like it's teaming up COBEL with Mark, and she wants to know like what did you go through? What did you go through with reintegration? What's the process? That's what she's going to find out. But Charlie, how are you feeling after watching this episode?
I'm just surprised because I knew that there was more to COBEL's like backstory and stuff that we were going to find out, but I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting her to be the mastermind behind everything. I just thought she was a crazy cuckoo, like sheep for Kier and Lumen and all that. But clearly, as Abe was saying before, she was brainwashed as a child, and she is somewhat of a genius, it seems. We just didn't know it. So yeah, it's crazy. It's such an evil company. Like the child labor thing we just found out about now, right? And like if I paused it here where she's walking into the room, and it's the Sissy's like plaque, quarterly striver, 4th quarter year vision, youth apprentice matron. It's like, wow. Employing youth or forcing them to work. Could even be slave labor. We never know.
Yeah, youth apprentice matron speaks, like what that says to me is like she was overseeing the child labor.
Yeah. But I'm saying we don't know if the kids got paid.
Yeah,
we
who
don't
knows?
know, like we don't know if they were forced to work.
Yeah.
But clearly they were being manipulated, even to the point where her ideas, COBEL's ideas, were stolen.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, you know, in earlier episodes where we see Miss Wong and we're like, damn, this is a kid, haha, like,
Child labor laws.
Child labor laws. We're making all these jokes, and like, come to find out, I was like, no, they actually use child labor. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's
now
serious.
it makes sense why she's there.
Yeah, so Miss Wong, blink twice if you're in trouble. We'll
She is in
bust you
trouble.
out.
What did you guys think of the scene where she goes into her mother's room, and specifically where you have, I love the way it's lit. You have the light coming in through the window, and it's specifically lit on the headboard of the bed and the pillow, and then the rest of the room is completely dark. And I'm just wondering, Charlie or A, what did you guys get from that specific scene of her walking in at that moment? Did you guys get anything out of it, or was it just?
Yeah, I think it was just them like showing. I think it was just a way to show, where her mother died, and what Sissy had told her before was like, you're not going to get anything but sadness in there. And that's what it looked like. It looked like a very sad room with an empty hospital bed and very bare. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took from that, like what Charlie says. She says, like, all you'll find is pain or whatever. And I think in that moment, I thought it was odd when she like put the tube in and started like breathing from it in the bed. But for me, it was almost like we get told that she was not there in the moment that her mother died. So it was almost like her like reliving the pain without her mother there, and like crying at the thought of like what her mom's final breath was like, and someone potentially taking the Sissy ripping the tube out of her mother's throat, which supposedly Sissy says she did that herself. But it's just like her going back to this childhood of sadness, pain, loss, and reliving that moment and not being able to say goodbye to her mom. I think that's what I got from that.
Yeah, it's almost like she didn't have a childhood, period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think we can pretty easily determine that. I mean, it's funny because the more that I got this background, I'm like, what is Milchick's story and how similar is it? Because they're two very like uptight individuals that are very, type A, and clearly COBEL's comes from some level of trauma directly from Lumen. Is Milchick's story similar?
It's the way they carry themselves. That just something is just off about them.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like there's someone different in you. Like that's not you. You're a product of something, and it seems like they've never discovered themselves because Lumen has just always been controlling them, and they've been manipulated, and it's just, you look at them, it's just heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
And see that
They're like groomed by Lumen as a child, right? And so that shows a lot of why COBEL is the way she is, why she like has a shrine of Kier in her house, and why she's like obsessed with it and worshiping it and everything. It's all she knows. She didn't have a childhood. She didn't have a relationship with her mother, it looks like. Sissy inferred to her being at school while her mother passed. Maybe it was a Lumen school. We don't know.
Well, I think it was. We saw in the we saw like the yearbook that she had. It said something.
Right. The yearbook,
Egan, Myrtle Egan School of whoever. So like everything based on the town is, and there's a lot of towns like that. Like I remember, like the town of where I went to college. Like there was a family that was very rich that owned a lot of estate in that, and there was a lot of mining that they did. So like it's not uncommon for certain towns to have identities based on rich families that came before and imprinted their their company's values, or in general the businesses that they had like flourish in that community. Sometimes it's for positive, and sometimes we see this level of extreme. Well, I don't know if we ever see this level of extreme, but some places can get decimated by.
I think it's a commentary on that.
Yeah, 100%.
I also think it's a commentary on like religion and like specifically
fanaticism,
cults, and stuff like that, because it can be something that you grow up with, and it can be something that it's all you know. And you can become obsessed with it, and your whole life revolves around it to the point where like you
can't think for yourself.
Yeah, you're not even your own person.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we see from COBEL here. And it's sad. And from Sissy. Sissy is like
more from Sissy, yeah.
Very much still, huge into
indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And just completely it's Kier, and now.
And even and it gets so bad to the point where you can have the proof in your face, right? With the book that COBEL had all the drawings, everything she thought up, all the stuff, and Sissy doesn't want to accept it, and she wants to toss it into the fire. So that's how brainwashed they can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, this is so interesting. Like I have so many questions. Like the question that I have is like, how did she end up managing the severed floor? Was it like her work got to a point and then they were like, we'll take it from here, but as a reward, you get to babysit these people. Like, is that how it worked? And she just like had to eat it and just like go from there.
Well, it makes sense.
It just makes me
why
wonder.
they were proposing to give her a different position too. It's like they don't want to lose her because clearly she's valuable to some extent.
I think they're more concerned that she's dangerous, not under their control.
Both. I think it's a mixture of both.
But like, not even just because like clearly it didn't seem like they were using her at all in this like first season. Like we see her as like a glorified babysitter of the severed floor. The board won't even talk to her. Everything gets communicated through Natalie. So like clearly they don't see her as like a genuinely important person, whether by design, by trying to like keep her in her place or otherwise. But the impression that I got from the episode where, Helena and Drummond are by the car or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's go talk to the board or whatever, is that they were trying to more like reel her in and keep her from causing trouble outside, because if she truly is the inventor of Severance, she might be able to figure out ways around it.
Right. Like what you said, it's she is valuable and knowledgeable enough to be dangerous, so they want to control her.
Yep.
And so I think that's why they've been, they made the offer to try to move her somewhere else, and it's like still to keep her under their watch, have control over her.
Yeah, I think we also have to remember she wanted to be there as well because she wanted to see Mark complete Cold Harbor. That's why she's there as well. Like she wants to see that happen. I think there's a reason why she, I don't know, hasn't moved up or has a higher position within Lumen, because I think she wants to see whatever the experiment with Cold Harbor is. She wants to see that actually happen and follow Mark through it. So I think that's why she was spying on Mark through season 1 and all that stuff, because I think there's a big reason. Because like I'm here thinking like, girl, like you invented Severance and you're just babysitting these people.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm like, wait, but no, I think she wanted to be there to an extent because of Cold Harbor.
I think it was the best option she had. That's the sense I get. Okay. Is like she wanted to see her work come to some sort of fruition, and the best that they were able to do is like, okay, you can manage the people who are severed.
Yeah,
one branch of the people who are severed, right? Which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, I was going to ask you guys, because I feel like they've been doing a very good job with the plot so far, that you can see like every action is driven by something that makes a lot of sense. But I have one qualm that other people have also had, and it's more to do with the last episode, but it bleeds into this. Devin deciding to call COBEL. Do y'all think that's like a natural, like, it to me, it felt a little bit out of character and a little bit like, damn, really? Like, this is the person that you're going to call right now? Not knowing what we know now about COBEL, obviously, and Devin not knowing that at all. And now, based on the snippet of the phone call that we get from them, it just feels very like, oh, yeah, let's talk. Let's get, and then like, there's not enough skepticism there that I would expect from the Mark and the Devin side. So I was just going to try to get your thoughts on that, because it feels like they're like, oh, damn, we need to call somebody. Yeah, call COBEL. Absolutely. It's like, no, bro. She was the enemy up until you have nowhere else to turn.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how they handle the initial interaction. I think that'll still, that'll be able to provide, I think, a level of satisfaction between what I'm skeptical about. But I still feel like it's a little bit of an odd conclusion that we jump to just being able to call COBEL.
It's odd, but it's the only person to turn to. There's no one else that you could
remember,
ask for help in that situation.
They knew that she left Lumen.
Yeah.
Remember, Mark confronts her in episode 2 of this season. You know that moment where he steps in front of the car. He's like, "What? What is all this? Like, what are you doing?" So I think that's their inkling. Like, oh, she's been excommunicated from Lumen. Maybe we can get something out of her. I think that's my assumption because of that aspect. But
I think that's valid, but I also think that. And I'm not saying I think that's right, but I'm like, you mean to tell me that Devin has a reason to dislike COBEL, right? She faked the whole baby thing, like all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
She meets Ragabi, and for whatever reason, she's like, I cannot trust this woman. Let me go back to the woman who almost stole my baby.
Here's the thing. Ragabi and Devin don't have a relationship. Ragabi walks in trying to save Mark from having a seizure. That's the only, context that she has of Ragabi. She doesn't know who the hell this woman is.
Right.
Even though she knows COBEL's a fraud, COBEL was in her house teaching her how to breastfeed very, very closely.
The devil you know is better than the one you don't.
Exactly.
Fair.
So I feel like that's the justification for it, even though it is a very odd decision.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else to turn, unfortunately, because literally she doesn't know Ragabi. Right. And Mark is here in a coma state, essentially.
Yeah.
And there's no one else to call. Yeah.
I get it. I get the devil you know is better than the one you don't, especially on Devin's side. Although, from the phone call, it feels like there's a lot I'm reading into that we don't know. We'll find out probably in the beginning of the next episode. But my whole thing is what is the conversation that Devin and Mark had when he wakes up that he's able to be convinced by Devin that, calling COBEL is the right move? What is the conversation that they're having? What is it that they're thinking now? Because they don't know COBEL invented Severance. They don't know how she can help.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what it is they have. Healthy level of skepticism, not hating on the show, just questions that I've been willing to ask. Because so far, I feel like the show has been flawless. So feel like there's opportunities here to question. Maybe maybe it'll all make sense in the next episode, but felt that it was valid because I did see a lot of discourse about that question about Devin specifically.
Yeah. And we shall see what happens next week. And with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this reaction. We love you guys and see you soon for more Severance reaction. Stay beautiful, y'all.
See ya.